Blog Talk Radio.
It's not my fault. You've been lying, saying that I took away your peace. Drowning by yourself, now you wanna blame me. Like you have no options. I ain't take your options. Now I'm not the problem. Man, that's on you, yeah. You've been terrorizing me, yeah, I'm always wrong. I knew you lost your mind when you dropped that bomb. Girl, are you crazy? Yeah, you must be crazy. I've been thinking lately it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me, but baby, it's you. Lie like a rat, but take your stuff back, baby, it's you. And I would never hear. You've been flexing everywhere. Girl, look in the mirror. Man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you. You stole your peace, put it on me. But baby, it's you. Lie like a rat, but take your stuff back. Baby, it's you. Control the weather, then every day would rain on your parade. Shine, you can't get it, yeah. If I was Father Time, then I would change the day, so I never saw your face.
Hello. I am host Simo of What's Really Going On Blog Talk Radio Show and Podcast. I am super excited that you have decided to spend your evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time it is you are. I am so glad you've decided to spend this time with me and my very special guest, author, director, producer, Jessica B. Smith. Before I bring her on, though, I would always like to give a shout out to everybody that listens in around the globe. So I would like to give a special thank you to India, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Nigeria, Germany, Finland, the United Kingdom, Canada, and of course, rounding it out, the United States. So I am going to bring on Jessica B. Smith. She is the owner of Wright Smith Productions. Um, she is a North Carolina native and mother of four. Jessica is the owner of Wright Smith Productions. Through her company, she wrote, produced, and directed her debut film in 2019, a romantic comedy feature titled Ella Rose, with over 63,000 views on YouTube. She also wrote and directed Ella Rose, the series, which has a 5-star rating on Amazon Prime. This series is amazing. I'm telling you guys, if you have not seen it, you're gonna have to look at it right after this. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Jessica holds an MA in English and an MFA in creative writing. She has been a college instructor for over 12 years. She's also a 4-time published author and has worked as a book editor for over the past 17 years for small press publishing companies spanning the U.S. Passion is helping other creatives and entrepreneurs manifest their vision. Not writing, directing, producing, or coaching and inspiring other creatives, you can find Jessica spending time with her husband and 4 amazing children. And I want to thank her for joining me today. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Jessica B. Smith.
Everybody. Hey, Simo. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for coming. And we talked a few minutes before the show, and I'm not going to talk too much because I'm going to let you tell everybody about your journey. And I just want to say, Jessica, I reached out to her just a few minutes before the show started, and I told her I was proud of her. And this is like the first time we're talking right now, but I'm so proud of everything she's accomplished since 2019 to now. This girl is amazing. You guys hear me? But
man.
Jessica, please share with us your journey from, where you started and where you are now, how you came up with the series, how you went from writing a book to writing a screenplay, and all those things. Just share your journey with us.
Okay, sure. And Simo, thank you so much for the introduction, all the compliments and everything. I really, truly appreciate that. And to all the listeners, thank you for tuning in and listening. And you all are awesome as well. So just a little bit about me, a little bit about my journey. I don't want to talk too much because I don't want to bore you all. But, just like Simo said, I'm a North Carolina native. I grew up here in a little town called Stanford. You probably haven't heard of it, but it's right between Raleigh and Fayetteville here in North Carolina. And, my background is more in writing. I'm a writer first. I tell everybody that. I'm a writer first, so I wrote and published my first book when I was 19. It's called Confessions of a Diva. And after that, I just kept writing books, kept writing, and then a lot of editing. I kind of got into the editing side of things, so I started working for a lot of small press publishing companies all over the United States, doing a lot of editing, developmental edits, and all of that for writers because, I'm a writer first. Well, even though I love writing, I also, acting, the stage, theater has always called to me. So a lot of times just to step away from writing, get away from writing, I would either go act at my local theater or I would write my own stage plays and do local productions in my city. So that's kind of how I started with things. And so then it's kind of like, well, how did you get into film? How did you get involved into film? So how that happened actually was I was a repertory member at my local theater in Fayetteville. And a lot of my actor friends, they were always talking about these different film projects that they had been a part of. And so I asked them one day, I was like, hey, listen, if I wanted to get my foot into film, how do I start? Where would I even begin? Do I need to get an agent? How do I go that route? And so one guy tells me, he's like, Jess, all you have to do is you know, one way to start off is to be an extra, just to get your foot in the door. And he was like, you don't need an agent. You just meet the demographics of what they're looking for, submit yourself to the project, and if you get booked, then you get onto the set. And, you know, that's a quick way to get your foot in the door and actually get on the set. And so I was like, okay, well, let me try this and see what happens. I mean, y'all, it literally happened just like that. Like, you know, I got booked to be an extra on a TNT show called Good Behavior. It was filming at Screen Gem Studios in Wilmington, North Carolina. I went. That was my first film role, my first extra role. I was hooked. It was like a drug, and I wanted my next hit. So I'm so serious. It was freaking amazing. And it was like a high. And then after that, it was, you know, submit myself to productions. I was on several other productions. I was even a production assistant for Cinemax's, Outcast. Cinemax had a show called Outcast. It filmed in Charleston, South Carolina. And I actually got hired as a production assistant on that show. And as well as doing extra work and all of this. And I was using all of this to, you know, build my acting resume and to learn more about the filmmaking process. So, like I was telling you earlier, Simo, when I started writing my 5th book, I got stuck writing my 5th book. I got stuck writing it for 3 years. It was writer's block from hell. And finally one day I was like, you know what? Let me try to write this as a movie and just see what happens. And like I was telling you earlier, the movie wrote itself in like 2 weeks, within 2 weeks. Now, listen, I struggled 3 years to write this book, but in 2 weeks, I had a whole movie. And, you know, after that, you know, I shared it with some of my friends, my filmmaking friends, people who I know would critique me and, you know, give me constructive criticism. They were like, Jessica, this is good. You need to make this. And I was like, shut up. No, you gassing me up. And they were like, no, Jessica, I'm so serious. So I was like, okay, well, I think I might know how to do this. Let's see what happens. And we are a quick rundown of, you know, how it all happened.
And I know you were saying to me earlier, you were saying that, you know, it only took you 2 weeks to make to create the script. So how do you go about even breaking that down? Like, because how many pages was the actual book?
Well, see, I never finished the book. I got
you.
This day, and I don't even want to listen. God, that book just it was a nightmare. I think I got to maybe chapter 4 in that book. I'm talking for 3 years. That's a long time to be stuck writing a book. And I was like stuck at chapter 4. And I don't know if you know this, but like for me, writing, it has to write itself. And if it doesn't write itself, if I'm forcing it, then it reads forced. It doesn't read real and organic. It's like I'm trying to make it happen. And so I got stuck at like chapter 4. And after that, I was like, just keep writing. Just keep writing. And I did keep writing, but it was nothing I wanted to keep because it was forced. And I was like, what is wrong with this story? What is going on? And I'm telling you, 2 weeks, I guess it just wasn't supposed to be a book. I guess it was just supposed to be a movie. So, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so once you start with the movie, and so do you need other writers to kind of help you when you're doing the series? Or do you just continue to write on your own, or how do you navigate that?
Well, okay, so I'm gonna tell you how I did it, and then I'm gonna tell you how it can be done. So for the movie, I wrote the movie myself. I just, you know, it was all in my head and just came out like boom. Right. It came out on paper. Well, we start. I start putting together the filming of the movie, right? I never wanted to film the whole movie, right? That was never my intention. My intention was to only film a teaser trailer, a sizzle reel, right? Because I wanted somebody else to either give me the money to film this or somebody to buy it from me and hire me on set as like a consultant or something, and they produced it. It was never my intention to produce the entire movie, right? So I produced the sizzle reel, right? a teaser trailer or whatever.
Right.
And I flew out to Atlanta to this pitch festival called the Atlanta Pitch Festival. And I got the opportunity to sit down with BT executives, Larissa and John, I'll just say their first names. I got the opportunity to sit down with them and pitch the movie El Rose, which they loved. They were like, oh my God, this sounds so good. This sounds so interesting. Yeah, send us the trailer, send us the treatment. And, so I had all of this. And, they gave me their contact information, their phone numbers, their emails. I'm hyped. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, God, it's happening. So I send them everything they requested. And when it comes to dealing with the higher up, it's a waiting game. Like, almost everything in film is a waiting game. So I start playing the waiting game. And I end up waiting a total of 6 months with, them periodically checking in and you'll hear back from us. You'll hear back from us. And finally, after 6 months, they hit me back and told me that they were going to pass on El Rose for that season. It was a certain season. And they said, but, submit it again for the next season, and we'll see if it fits what we're looking for the next season. Well, because I had already waited half a year just to hear back and hear no, I was like, man, forget this. I've already filmed like a third of the movie just to get the trailer, the teaser trailer. And I said, if I was able to do a third of the movie, surely I can finish the rest. Like, Jessica, you could just do it yourself, produce it yourself. And so I produced it myself. But during the 6 months while I waited to hear back from them, I wasn't sitting there twiddling my thumbs, like, waiting. While I was waiting, I started writing, because what happened was, after I finished writing the movie and, went on with my life or whatever, all of a sudden the characters in the movie were still speaking to me. Like, it was like, I'm telling you, it was literally like, oh my God, they have more story to tell. Oh my God, there's more story. I gotta write this down. And so I started writing it because the story is just coming to me. It's not even so much as if I'm creating it. It's more like it's coming to me, and you need to get a pen and write this down. Well, not a pen, computer, whatever. So I sat in front of the computer, and I'm typing, and next thing I know, I have the entire season 1 of the El Rose series. Wow. And I'm like, dang, this is crazy. So then when BET hits me back and they pass on me, I go, you know what? Let me just go ahead and finish filming this movie. And so while I'm filming the movie, I keep putting a bug in the actors, the different actors. I keep putting a little bug in their ear, and I say, hey, listen, if you're enjoying this, I'll just tell you what I said. I said, if you're enjoying this, I just want you to know that I also wrote a series to this, and your character actually has more story. Now, you're not required to do the series, but if you're enjoying this, and I'm telling you, everybody was like, yes, Jessica, please, yes, I'm ready. I want to do more. Come on. I'm loving this. This is great. And I was so happy that everybody was like, heck yeah, let's do the series. So we filmed the movie, and as soon as the movie dropped on Amazon, and I did a limited theatrical release, so I had it play in a couple of theaters. But believe it or not, this was the exact time where COVID shut down all the theaters, and all the theaters all over the world was closed for a while. And then they opened, but when they opened, it was the capacity. Like, you could only have, like, I think, like 20 people in the, I mean, maybe 50, depending on the size of the theater, the auditorium, the theater auditorium. So this happened around that time, so I shut down that theatrical release because I actually was losing money because I could not sell enough tickets to recoup my expenses. So I kind of shut it down, but it was still amazing. I mean, let me tell you, it is nothing like sitting in the theater, eating popcorn, drinking drink, and watching your own movie play in front of you. Like, that alone was so rewarding. So I hope I answered your question. I don't know. I talk a lot.
You know what? I can imagine how that must. When I was watching it, it just like you're telling me that you pretty much did everything by yourself, and I was looking at it, and it just looked so professionally done. I was thought, okay, she probably went into like, you know what I'm saying, and had a bunch of help with that. But it just looked so professionally done. That's why I was like, this is just amazing to me that you could do all that by yourself, and then to do it when everything was shut down. That was another thing. Um, and then to put now, let me ask you this, because the movie on Amazon, and then the series that's on YouTube. How does it? Did you just continue the series from the original movie, or is the series like different, or how is that?
Okay, so the series kind of takes it's okay. It's the same characters ish. Well, listen, you got your Elrose and you got Carter, and I'm sorry, spoiler alert, they get married at the end. Okay, you just have to know that before the series makes sense. Okay, so you have Elrose, you have her best friend Carter. They end up getting married. Then you have, Dr. Don Coley, who, they had this love thing going on, but Carter came in and messed all that up, right? I think those are the main characters. Oh, you have the dad. You have Elrose's dad.
Yes,
and you have
yes, you do have.
brother.
Yes, you do have the dad. I was looking at the dad. Yeah.
Listen, his name is James Arthur Sims. He plays Ellison. He is so freaking amazing. He is just, I'm telling you, he is so amazing. I cannot tell you how amazing he is. Matter of fact, he just did a movie with Loretta Devine. It's on Likeness and Harmony. That came out at the end of last year. And I don't know exactly what he's doing with Michael B. Jordan because, you got to sign the NDAs and not really tell it. But he just posted pictures of, not too long ago, he posted pictures of him, and he was like, my work environment right now. And, he's taking a picture with Michael B. Jordan, and I was like, Dad, why didn't you call me and let me know?
You say, Dad, what's going on?
Yeah, I was like, Dad, come on, I want to listen. When you do things like this, you have to invite your daughter. But James he is freaking amazing, and he is a professional bodybuilder. So if you notice, he is ripped beyond the gods. He is a pro professional bodybuilder, and all of that great stuff. But so what happens is, while the movie is like a romantic comedy, the series takes a slightly different turn, and the log line for the series is two best friends turned newlyweds must now navigate the challenging waters of marriage, parenthood, and entrepreneurship as they continue bossing in the software field. But when they take on a contract that challenges the cancer industry, it's a boss move that may cost them their lives. So the series takes a more the movie. However, it has so many comedic elements all throughout it, but it does take a different turn, and it's basically it's basically about Elrose and Carter trying to figure out this marriage thing because Carter got some things he struggles with, and then Elrose, she's so independent and she's so headstrong and she's such a go-getter. And now that she's married and it's no longer one but two, technically three because they have a child, she's struggling. They're both struggling. Believe it or not, they both are struggling. And from episode 1, you see the struggles because episode 1 is called Issues. So, yeah.
And see, I did watch the trailer for the YouTube series. I did watch the trailer for it. But my other question too is, how did you go about casting? How did you go about casting and because everybody seemed like they those roles so perfectly. How did you go about casting?
Oh, man, casting was like heaven sent. Honest to God, casting was heaven sent. So you got to understand, I have a background in acting. Remember, so I doing theater and doing and film, getting involved in film myself from the acting side of things. So when I got ready to cast, I went to the places that Jessica, as the actress, goes to find roles for myself. So I went that same route. Actors Access, 800 Casting, The Southern Call, Facebook. There's different Facebook groups dedicated to casting calls for different areas. Those are my main go-to places. And then I held a few live casting calls, especially for my my key characters. My key characters like Carter. That's played by Sean McMillan. He's amazing. I cast him, and then the lady who played his fiance, Morgan, she's amazing. I cast her. I cast both of them through live auditions because I wanted to really see like the chemistry, the chemistry that would exist between the characters. So yeah, I held casting calls at the local library, and then I did casting calls online where people could submit self-tapes where basically I send you the sides, which is a little piece of the dialogue for the character you're auditioning for. You record your take, send it in, and that's how I did it. But I say casting was heaven sent because, Carter, the guy who plays Carter, he basically fell into my lap. I was like, well, thank you, God, because believe it or not, he's not a Stanford. He's a North Carolina native as well. He lives more on the Fayetteville side of things. And he came across my casting call and basically begged me, was like, Jessica, please, I would love the opportunity to audition for the role of Carter because I'm always traveling so far from home for the different roles, and to film something of this caliber right here at home would be a dream come true. And I'm sitting up here like, sir, you don't have to beg me for the role.
Right.
If you want it.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. He fits like so perfectly. Y'all look good together. It's just amazingly put together and just looks so professional. And I'm just so intrigued by all of this. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me think. Remember, I was saying earlier, I would love to have one of my books, but I just can't see. I know you said it only takes a couple weeks to come up with a script, but I would just, when you got a 300, 400 page book, you're like, okay.
Well, that's different. That's different. And so I tell people, it's one thing when the book is all the way written, you got to go by what's written in the book for the most part, But when it's not a book that's written and you kind of get to create as you go, it gives you more leeway. But from your standpoint, that is a little more challenging to take something that's already published, already a book, and then change it to a script, a screenplay. That is not easy. Now, I will say you can do it yourself, but you got to understand in doing so that it is like, it's a very different medium. It's a very different medium. When I say that, and I'm going to give you the short version of it. When I say that because when you write a book, you get to get inside that character's head. You get to hear their thoughts. You get to, stuff like that, right? And the story is very character driven. But when you flip over to writing a screenplay, those thoughts are gone out the window, right? You get none of that. You only get words and actions. So now what tells the story when you're writing a screenplay is what that character does, what that character doesn't do, what that character says, what that character doesn't say, and how to utilize the environment to tell the story. So that's why I say it's a very different medium. And even me going into it, I had to learn to use the environment more, because one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they go from being a novelist to writing screenplays is that you bring in that same mindset from writing books, you bring that into writing a screenplay. So you're overwriting it. You're writing, and that's why I didn't really want to write screenplays. When I went to school and got a master's and learned how to write it, I didn't want to write screenplays. Matter of fact, my thought was, what real writer would want to write a screenplay? It's stripped. It's your book stripped to the bare bones. That doesn't sound, you know what I'm saying? But
and I guess, I mean, I get it, because I guess that's why, some people will say the book is so much different than the screenplay. And normally, if it's a novelist, like you said, they won't write a screenplay. Somebody else will adapt.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It is a lot of missing pieces in there. But in my mind, I'm almost thinking if I did do like a screenplay based on a book, I don't know, we would just be up there ad-libbing stuff, just going. I don't know. But I'm just saying, it's a way to. It's just so much information. I mean, but I would know what I think I would. I know what I would want it to look like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think I'll get somebody to write the screen.
And you can always do that, and a lot of people prefer to do that. Just they go hire a screenwriter to adapt their book into a screenplay, and that's definitely a route to go.
Okay. And so how did you guys film? How long did it take to film everything?
Okay, so it took so much longer to film that daggone series. By the time I finished filming that series, I said, Jessica, you are crazy. You are insane. And I told myself, I'm never going to do this again. I said,
you're going to do it again.
I'm going to do it again. I promise you I am. I'm itching to get back on set now, But for the movie, we filmed the teaser trailer in about 3 months. Maybe 3 months. I don't even think it took that long. Maybe like 2 months. That's just the teaser trailer, okay? So we filmed the teaser trailer in like 2 months, right? I think something like 2 months, 1 to 2 months. It didn't take long to film the teaser trailer. Now you got to understand. When I went into doing this, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just, I was like just going with the flow and like, we'll see what happens. That was my mindset. We'll see what happens. Man, I was doing stuff all wrong. I can't believe those actors, like, that they rode with me the way they rode with me, because I didn't know, like, the industry standard is to film, like, 3 to 5 pages per day. Let me tell you something. One day we filmed, like, 17 pages.
Oh, wow. But so would that require a lot of, like, set change? Or...
Well, okay, so I'm going to tell you this, right? So, and it'll help it make sense, right? So if you watch the movie, at the very beginning, Carter walks in to talk to his fiance, tell her about this contract that he got. He goes into her salon, right?
Salon, right.
That. Later on, we see him come in her salon again later on, and she saw him hugging Elle Rose in the hospital hallway, and she's kind of in her feelings because she's like, "Are y'all really just friends?" Okay, that was in the salon scene. And then we see him later on. I don't want to give all the movie away, whoever might be listening. But later on, he comes in the salon and, his fiance isn't there. And he asks one of the workers about, her whereabouts or whatever, right? Those 3 scenes happens at 3 very different places in the movie. We filmed all 3 of those scenes in the same day. They just kept changing clothes, right?
Oh, wow.
But you got to understand, that was our, hold on. Yeah. That was our second location. Because our first location, I want to make sure I get this right. Our first location, we were filming some Elle Rose office scenes. So when you see, like, Elle Rose is in the office, matter of fact, Elle Rose is in the office. We filmed a scene where, hold on, I don't want to lie. I don't know what we filmed, to be honest. I can't quite remember because it was a while ago. But it was the office scenes. It was some scenes with Elle Rose in the office. So in one day, we started off filming at Elle Rose's office, filmed a couple of her office scenes. Then we left the office and went to the salon and filmed every single salon scene. And that was all in a single day. And then we still had to film the next day. We didn't wrap. I still remember that day. That was like a 15-hour film day, okay? And we wrapped at like 2 o'clock in the morning. We had an 8 o'clock call time for the next day, which I pushed it to I think I pushed it to noon because we wrapped at 2. And so after filming all of that, the very next day we went and got on set again around noon and filmed till like 10 o'clock that night.
Wow. That's great. Because I've heard actors talk about like long filming days and stuff like that. So that's why it just made me wonder how you actually do that. Is it 1 or 2 or 3 scenes a day or 2 or whatever? Like, wow, those are some long days. But I guess it's better to just go ahead and get it done than so do you have the different locations, were they all like generally close to each other, or were they in like different parts of town where you had to travel different places, or?
They were, I mean, it just all kind of depends. The locations were all over the place. L. Rose's office was in one city.
Oh, wow.
El Rose home was in another city. I will say a lot of the smaller scenes were kind of all in the same city because I'm from Sanford. So like
right.
Some of the restaurant scenes, the graveyard scenes, the wedding scenes. A lot of those were in Sanford because that's where I'm from, and I know a lot of people from Sanford. So I was able to secure a lot of locations there. But I mean, it was different cities. There were locations in different cities, and it was just what I had access to, what doors opened for me that I was able to use to make it work. So yeah.
Okay. Now we done talked a whole lot. We got about 23 minutes left. There are a few people in the queue. If you wanna ask any questions, all you have to do is press the number 1, and we'll let you in for questions too while we're still talking. Or you can type your questions in. It's up to you. But that's fine. But I do want to ask this: what do you have coming up next? I know El Rose is like you said, it's coming. You said it'll be on TV soon. Too.
Yeah.
So
El Rose the movie and El Rose the series.
Both the movie and the series will be on TV. Do you have anything coming up after El Rose?
Let me tell you, I'm stuck between these two. I have written. Okay, so when you write a series, what you do is you write the first episode, and it's called a pilot, right? So the first episode is called the pilot. If you do not want to necessarily produce it yourself with only your funds, you produce the pilot, and then you pitch the pilot to different studios, to different networks to see what studio, what network wants to come on board and say, hey, listen, we want to buy this series, right? So they don't buy a produced series, they buy the pilot. And the reason why they buy the pilot is because they want their hands involved with the actual development of the series as well as the actual casting of the series, right? And so where I'm at right now, I have 2 pilots. I'm not sure, one is a comedy. It's a straight comedy. It's a series, but it's a comedy. And then, I got the romance line in it. And then the other one is not a comedy. The other one is a drama. It's more serious. It's a coming-of-age story surrounding this high school senior young lady. And so I have these 2 pilots, and I'm not quite sure which way to go yet. I'm knocking on some different doors to kind of see some things. I'm reaching out to named actors, trying to get them to say yes.
Right.
Not commit to the project, to attach to the project, because how it works is you get named actors to attach to the project first, and then you reach out to the studios and the networks and you say, hey, listen, I have this actor named da-da-da-da-da who has agreed to attach to this series, and I have this actor named da-da-da-da-da who has also agreed to attach to the series on the contingency that is sold to a network or sold to a studio. Are you interested? And so right now I'm just in the place of trying to get a couple of yeses from some different talent before I go forward. So that's where I'm at right now.
That is cool to me. Like, it's just so cool to me. Okay, so when you so as far as genres, I know you said you got the coming of age, and then you had the romantic comedy, and you have one drama that's going to be coming too. What is which ones do you prefer to do?
Listen, I prefer anything that has comedy in it. That's what my preference is because I'm naturally a very funny person. I love to laugh. I don't take life seriously. I mean, I do the moments that I'm supposed to take, but for the most part, I'm always finding the humor in a situation. So I do have a lean towards comedy, which is why, my debut work is a romantic comedy. And while the Arrow series, like I said, it does take a more serious drama type approach to Elrose and Carter, the series is loaded with comedic moments that is just freaking hilarious. And I wanted it to be that way because I didn't want it to be such a heavy story. And so to cut into the heaviness, and the heaviness comes from, the struggles of marriage, the struggles of becoming one, and learning how to listen to each other. And there's literally I'm just going on and on. But listen, my favorite.
That's fine.
My favorite episode from the series is episode 5. It's called Cuddle, like when you cuddle with someone. I love it. That is probably the most hilarious. It is probably the most hilarious. One of the most hilarious episodes in the whole series. And I've submitted that particular episode to so many film festivals and have won. Matter of fact, later on this month, it's going to play at the Charlotte Black Film Festival in Charlotte, North Carolina. It got selected into that. And, we have the Vision Award ceremony. So I'm going to see if it ends up winning any awards at the award ceremony. And, yeah, I bring up Cuddle because it's hilarious. I don't want to give it away, but I don't want to give it away. It's so good. One of the biggest themes for the series is the theme of love and relationships and marriage and making it work against all odds. And, and so I like the episode 5 Cuddle because it has a very funny approach on some of the issues that might arise in a marriage, So.
Okay. All right. Well, I know you said so since you all were filming during the pandemic, so I'm pretty sure it was much easier for you to do it during that time because it wasn't a lot of commotion. It wasn't very busy because everybody was kind of locked down. So was it easier? Yeah, during that time, I would think so. That's probably able to get those long days in there too. As far as film festivals, can people come out, like just not all screenwriters? Can people just come out, novelists, other artists, just come out and check those out? And okay, that's what I was thinking.
Can. Listen,
all right.
I think anybody, whether you're an actress, a novelist, an actor, a filmmaker, somebody who's even interested in the film, definitely Google film festivals in your locations. They have different dates, different festivals going on. You get a ticket. Some of them are free, but some of them aren't, and you have to buy a film pass or something like that, and it's not that expensive. And you get to go in there and watch local indie produced work. Well, they're not always locally, but watch indie produced work and mingle with the filmmaking community. Great way to network.
Okay. Do they ever do any virtual trainings or people that are interested in making films or getting into the writing screenplays? Do they ever do virtual type master classes or something like that?
I have not necessarily seen them do listen, I'm sure it's out there somewhere, and I'll tell you why. Because of COVID, and COVID made everything just about go virtual, I'm sure now you could probably, find a lot more opportunities like that now than you could pre-COVID. But most
Right.
of the things would be like, and even like the one I'm going to now, it's June 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. 23rd, 24th, and 25th in Charlotte. The way it goes is, you buy a pass to these different things, and then they have workshops, they have panel discussions, they have all of that great stuff. They even have pitch festivals, all of that great stuff within the festival. So that's usually how it goes. But I will say this, any of your viewers that are listening or whatnot, definitely check me out on my website, www.jessicabsmith.com, because I am currently in the middle of putting together, because people are always coming to me asking me, how did you do that? And how, if I want to do this, where do I start? And how do I, and so I'm in the middle of putting together this, I guess you could say, it's virtual, it's online, just kind of explaining the process. A lot of it is free, so a lot of what I'm giving out, once I finish making it, because I'm actually in the process of making it now. I'm recording video of me talking, explaining, doing tutorials, and all of that great stuff. A lot of it is going to be free, just to give you the basics of, here, do this how you get started, go make you a movie, right? But then when you want to go into the more technical stuff of it, that's where it will probably be some, some paid stuff there. But yeah, I'm in the process of making lots of free resources, virtual, online, for people who are interested in going into this and don't quite know how to start.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. How do they get in touch with you? What's your social media handles? So that people can reach out if they have other questions or just see what you got going on or keep up to date with what you got going on.
Yeah, go to my website, jessicabsmith.com. It's all one word. Or you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter, JessicaB_Smith. Or you can link up with me on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook. The easiest way to find me on Facebook is to go to facebook.com/Elle the movie. ELLE Rose the movie. All of that is one word. And then you'll find me on there because I'm always posting, different things up there. That's how you find me and follow me. Definitely link up with me. Any questions that you have for me, even if they come up, either for you, Simo, or the viewers, if you have questions and it comes up later on, feel free to hit me up. I am very open to people hitting me up anytime, asking me just about anything. And the reason why is because when I got started, some people know him, some people don't, but there's this guy named Mark Harris. He has a lot of movies out. Black Coffee, Love Letter, No Regret. I'm sorry?
I said, oh, wow, that I know those movies.
Yeah, the guy who made it, he's from Chicago. His name is Mark Harris, and he's on a whole nother level than me. But when I got started, I reached out to him just to see, and for him to respond back and hit me up and give me information and lead me and guide me, I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe that he's doing this, that he's taking time out of his life. He doesn't know me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yes, Mark Harris, if you happen to tune in, every time I do an interview, almost his name comes up because I just appreciate him so much for guiding me, and he doesn't even know me. And so because of how he reached out to me, I'm always looking for ways to reach out to others to say, here's a little nugget that'll help you along the way.
Right. That is so cool. It was just a few questions in the queue. They're just asking basically how to get in touch with you, which you already gave that information. You're on Twitter.
Okay.
You're on, of course, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
So, let me see what else is here. Okay, and they said on YouTube. On YouTube, how do you search it? Just type in Ella Rose the series, right?
Yeah. So go to YouTube, type in L Rose the series. L Rose the series. 4 words. L Rose the series. ELLE Rose, ROSE. There's a YouTube channel, and when you see the YouTube channel, you'll see it's L Rose and Carter. They look like they're getting married or whatnot, with like a little pink splash there. That's the YouTube channel. Click on there, and on that YouTube channel, the L Rose the movie, it's on YouTube. Last time I checked, it had over 65,000 views. I was like, oh my God! So the movie is up there, and then episode 1 and episode 2 are also available on YouTube, and you can go watch that tonight if you want to. It's a little sexy, okay? I would say.
Now I know I'm about to go on YouTube and watch that one. I don't already watch the movie, so I have to tune into the. Actually, I'm talking to y'all on one computer, and I'm about to get on the other one.
Yeah, check it out. Now, listen,
viewers,
it's a little sexy now. It ain't too sexy, but it's a little sexy. So if you got kids, when they go to bed, it's like PG. Listen, I've seen much crazier stuff. I would say PG-14, something like that. So but just enjoy.
That's good. You got good, clean. It's good, clean content. Now, if I do something that all the children, everybody can get out.
You crazy girl.
I'm just being honest.
Like Timo was saying, it's a little spicy, but it's clean spicy. So you don't have to send grandma to bed, okay?
I mean, I have a couple of books for kids. I don't know that I would put them in movies though. They're more like affirmations and stuff like that. But my books, they're a little bit racy.
Okay. And that's fine because there is the erotic genre, so that's fine.
Yeah. And I'm gonna just say 50 Shades of Grey ain't got nothing on me.
Come through, Steve.
All right, but we coming down to the wire. And it's a few callers in the queue. I wanna say thank you guys for hanging in there with us. I think when I was asking you the questions, most of the questions I had are questions that they would have wanted to ask. So they're just listening, and they just really asked about where to find you and stuff like that. So we answered those questions. And Jessica, I appreciate you coming on, and you've taught me a lot in this 40 or so minutes. Like seriously, especially saying how easy it is to write easy for you. To write a screenplay. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on regular TV and looking for whatever you have coming up next, because like I said, I was truly it had my attention the whole show, and like I said, I was fascinated by how professional everything looked, and I was like, wow, it's just so cool, and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Well, Simo, thank you so much for having me on the show and allowing me to step on your platform and speak to all of your amazing listeners. And I do want to just shout out my husband, Jonathan Smith, who I love so dearly. And I also want to shout out Torch Film Productions, Sohail Sajadini, as well as Third Eye Multimedia, Albert Green, because they were my camera people, my cinematographers, CPs who helped the Elrose movie happen, as well as a shout out to Pro U Production, Ajale and Charlotte, who joined us and helped the Elrose series happen as well. So yeah, definitely a team effort. I can't take all of the credit because that's if you ever get to that point, Simo, what you'll learn is that book writing is I say it's more a one-person thing because you just
Right.
got to sit down and write it. But when you come to producing and making films, ooh, it's no longer an I, it's a us. It's a we. Because even with all the hats that I wore, couldn't wear every hat. I couldn't be Carter, you know? I need a Carter.
Right.
But, yeah, so I appreciate the platform and for you talking to me and all the listeners. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And even you all who are going to come and listen to it later, I hope this really blesses you and give you some insight in the creative process.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jessica, for coming on. And it will be on demand right after about 3 minutes after I log out. It will be on demand on several other platforms. And I'll blast those out to you, and you can blast them out on all your social media pages.
Okay.
And I appreciate you. And I hope that you can come back again soon and talk to us. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you do some more amazing things in the future. Definitely.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
You are welcome, and have a good night. I am C-Mo, your host. What's Really Going On? Blog Talk Radio Show and Podcast. And I will see everybody next week. Thank you again, Jessica.
Good night.
Good night.
It's not my fault. You've been lying, saying that I took away your